Hey, we are here for Tech Tips TV. I'm your host, Shireen Herrera, along with Patrick Lawson, Wind River Internet, and we are pretty excited because today's Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody. All the love. Love is in the air. So we've been doing a lot of fun things with County 10 and Valentine's Day shout outs. So you'll see more of those get posted up on Facebook and online as well. But today we have Tech Tips TV back with a very topical topic, I should say. But we haven't been here for a few months.
Yeah, we took a little break for the holidays.
Yeah. Christmas was extended with Tech Tips, but really glad to be back. And Patrick, we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, all over the world, in media, in entertainment, and in business.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about the artificial, now this is like a tongue twister, the artificial neural networks.
Yeah, I thought it would just be kind of something different to talk about, and how it's kind of everywhere right now.
It really is.
It's like not just one thing, but it's a bunch of different things. So I figured we'd break this up into a couple different shows, and we could talk about the AI image generation right now. But I guess first we'll start off with what is an artificial neural network? And basically it's like computer pretending to be a human brain.
Freaks me out, man. It freaks me out, but I know it's coming. And so that's what's great about Tech Tips, though, is we get to learn about this. I'm just learning about how AI is integrated into everyday life and what's happening right now, from artwork to entertainment. But this neural network thing kind of freaks me out because technically a computer could act just like a human.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea behind it, that they're emulating the way the human brain works with the neurons, but it's doing it with little computer programs. And it's kind of neat. Like some of the fun stuff that you can do, you've probably seen these a lot on Facebook just recently, is these AI self-portraits where people, you can either download an app or you can use the free one that we have in the links here for Stable Diffusion. You can upload a picture and it'll take it, and you can add prompts. Just type in text, like I did one of a space adventure and it put me as an astronaut.
Whoa, Patrick, you look so cool. Can we share that photo? Awesome. Patrick looks awesome. These are cool, though. It looks like you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't. I've seen a few of them.
Sometimes it adds a couple extra fingers. I think I've got the right amount of fingers.
Okay, well, talk to me about that. How would it add a couple extra fingers?
Well, it's really interesting how it works, because the Stable Diffusion, what it does is it adds noise to the picture, and it kind of blurs it out, and then based on what you typed in, it puts it back into focus thinking about what you typed in.
Okay.
So it just gets finer and finer, more detail based on how you type the prompts. So sometimes it kind of does some weird stuff, like it knows it's a hand and it knows you got a certain amount of fingers, but sometimes it adds a couple extra.
Phalanges, just random. But I guess they're fine-tuning this, right, Patrick?
Yeah, so they have what they call models, and there's basically a database. So you'll upload more and more, and these Stable Diffusion and stuff, they'll scan like the whole internet, and the more information they have, the smarter they become, just like humans, right? I mean, as you grow older, you have more knowledge, and
or maybe for you, for me.
It's kind of the same thing. And then they get to the point where you don't even need an image. So you can actually just go in and just type whatever you want. Like I did this one of this cyberpunk jackalope. That's all I typed in, and it drew this weird, like, Blade Runner.
It does know what a jackalope is.
Jackalope.
It found that on the internet. It's definitely a cyberpunk jackalope. That's neat.
Yeah, so it's kind of a fun little toy to play with. And there's a bunch of different models and different companies taking the same software or idea and making all kinds of different applications.
I just was telling Patrick before we started Tech Tips TV today that I recently saw a video demonstrating how they took a celebrity who was doing a promotional instructional video and was able to use AI, artificial intelligence, to recreate that in 10 different languages, and it looked just like he was speaking the language.
Yeah, it's interesting with these training models, you can upload a bunch of different source material and combine it with something else. So they're doing this, and they're making what they call deep fakes, where they'll take something or like a celebrity, right, and make them say things that they didn't really say, or more. In this the more popular examples are making people young again. So they'll have a younger actor play the person, and then they'll have the deep fake of when the current actor is younger, and they'll redo the voice, or sometimes they even do it with the voice. So they'll actually modify the voice. Like Darth Vader sold the rights to his voice to Disney, so he doesn't actually have to be or James Earl Jones doesn't have to be Darth Vader anymore. They got somebody else saying the lines, but it sounds just like him.
Well, I was talking also about how this has been happening in some of modern entertainment. One is The Mandalorian. I was asking Patrick, the young Luke Skywalker really looked computer generated, not AI, which there is a difference and it does look different.
Yeah, I mean, it's still computer generated per se, but it's like the very last episode of The Mandalorian season 1, it was more of they modeled him in a computer, and they tried to make it look just like the young Luke Skywalker and animated his face by hand. And it didn't look quite right.
Right.
And a lot of YouTubers went out and they redid it with deep fakes. And they uploaded image sets from the old movies, and they pasted it over on top of that deep fake, and it looked better. And they actually ended up hiring one of those guys. And then on season 2, they did a much longer sequence where he's training baby Yoda, Grogu. And
he looks a lot more realistic.
Yeah, it looks better, I think.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It was kind of cool. They're kind of making it better, over time.
And Avatar 2.
Yeah, and Avatar 2, I was just watching something last weekend on how much they used neural networks in that, and you wouldn't think of it because it's not the same thing, but they're doing facial capture with the dots and a camera strapped to somebody's head, and they're running around and swimming underwater and stuff. But it's actually taking the different expressions and morphing in between them much smoother, and it's using the neural networks to make it more realistic, as opposed to that uncanny valley that you get, especially with like the very first motion capture stuff where it looked really weird,
yeah,
kind of creepy.
Right.
Yeah. So it kind of smooths that out, makes it more easy on the eyes. Yeah.
Well, AI is already integrated itself so much in the world of art and entertainment. We may just have not known about it as we talk about some of these bigger shows, and that thousands and hundreds of thousands of folks have watched that are using AI or deep fakes, which are just synthetic images, correct?
Yeah.
So the world of artificial intelligence is growing, but it's good to be here at Tech Tips to kind of find out more about this, because it's not going away, Patrick.
No, it's gonna evolve, and it's gonna be doing a lot of things that you wouldn't even think of. Like my son was just telling me, we'll get into this next week, but like ChatGPT, it's kind of a similar thing, but for, I don't know, what does it do?
Well, ChatGPT is also an artificial intelligence platform that allows folks, and I'm just learning about it, but it can write things for folks. It can help you find out information. All you have to do is type into ChatGPT, give me a 500-word article on fishing in Wyoming, and lo and behold, it comes out with none of the good spots, of course, but all kinds of information about it, and it's written in the form of like as if you maybe had written it, or it's just an article you would read, but it's really written artificially by AI.
But apparently his teachers are saying, right in the syllabus, do not use ChatGPT.
No, yeah, it is the new. What is those limericks? Those things that we used to get that were like the notes of the book.
Yeah.
What were they called?
Cliff Notes.
The Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
This is like the modern version, but like way extended of Cliff Notes that we had back in our day. The kids don't even know.
But yeah, I figure we could go over that on the next time.
Yeah.
Some examples, but.
And self-driving cars too.
Oh, and self-driving cars. We'll talk about that. It's the same concept.
Self-driving cars?
Yeah, they're building neural nets inside of the cars with all the sensors in it. It's learning from a fleet of millions of cars right now on how to drive. So drive safe so the robots know how to drive safe.
Because they're going to be using our brains to mimic who is actually driving the self-driving cars, or they're going to be using these neural networks that we had talked about with Patrick to begin with, which they're all using the neural networks. Like he mentioned in Avatar 2, if you see that, that's what they use to be able to get a lot of those expressions in a much more advanced way than having just somebody with the dots and, I don't even know what that was. But
Yeah, they insist they call it performance capture. capture instead of motion capture because they've got much more detail than everybody else.
Gollum was
Yeah.
pretty good though. That was
Yeah.
part of Gollum from Lord of the Rings was a great example of how that worked in its favor, but it can advance so much more and it already is. So I can't wait to find out more with next month's Tech Tips. I assume we're doing part 2 of AI.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's-
cool.
Unless there's a protest or something.
Yeah. Do we have any questions? Any questions? No, nobody knows about AI because it's artificial intelligence and it's crazy, but we're finding out more. We're finding out that it's not going away. And so one of the greatest things to do is to learn about it, to adapt and see how it's going to affect us here in Wyoming. Next month, we'll be back. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm Shireen Herrera. Got Patrick Lawson. Wind River Internet.
Yeah, Wind River Internet.
Yeah, what's going on with Wind River Internet? Give us an update. We need our update.
I guess I've been wanting to say this. I probably need to put some kind of a press release out or something. But
Disclaimer.
disclaimer, at Wind River Internet, we're always trying to be on like the cutting, bleeding edge of technology. We're putting in the latest and greatest of everything. Unfortunately, we did put in a little bit of too bleeding edge stuff during the holidays, and we had some interruptions in service. So we had to scale things back just a little bit. And I just wanted to let everybody know we got it all fixed and everything's really smooth. So if there's anybody out there that decided to leave us because of that, it's all fixed now and good. Please come back.
Yes, no, please. Supporting local business is very important. And Patrick is always on the cutting edge of things. And you know what? Sometimes folks here in Wyoming, we take a little bit longer to adapt to some of this new technology, but it ends up being here at some point. And this is the man who knows about it far before anybody else. And it's great to have him in our corner and have him here in Fremont County. So Patrick, we'll be back next month with more AI. I'm going to try to dive more into the AI world and how that really involves with, you know, some of more of the entertainment aspect and how we might be consuming it as clients for next month's Tech Tips. So we'll be back.